Mary Poppins Returns, the 2018 sequel to the 1964 movie Mary Poppins. Now, this movie is a sequel to the other one, and it's set like 25 years later, and Mary Poppins returns to visit the Banks family, and the kids in the original movie are now adults, and they have their own kids, and Mary Poppins comes and lives with them as they're going through this kind of troubling moment in their lives. I have to say, I'm not a huge fan of the original. I saw it when I was maybe 9 years old. It's not really fresh in my memory. I remember liking some of the songs and some of the visuals, but not my favorite movie. But I was interested in seeing this one because it's getting a lot of buzz. People saying Emily Blunt is so great, and I also just want to see the spin they're going to take on Mary Poppins and see how they're going to handle this sequel. So I was very interested in it. This movie is directed by Rob Marshall, who previously did Chicago, as well as the Disney fairy tale singing movie Into the Woods. So kind of similar to Mary Poppins with the singing and the Disney world. This movie is written by Rob Marshall as well, but as well as a few other people. We also have John DeLuca, who also worked on Into the Woods and Chicago. And we also have David Magee, who wrote the movie Finding Neverland, as well as the movie Life of Pi. Now let's go on to the cast. Emily Blunt is playing Mary Poppins, and lots of people are raving about her performance, although I want to have to take a little kind of a controversial opinion on this, in that I don't think Emily Blunt was as fantastic as everybody's saying. Now, don't get me wrong, I think she has the good look for Mary Poppins. I think she was good at singing, but my problem is that Mary Poppins in this movie is just very cold and very kind of annoyed. She has this annoyed look on her face most of the time. She's always sort of criticizing everybody, saying like the kids, "Oh, you look disgusting. We need to wash you." Or when people are trying to solve some sort of problem, she's always just sitting there with like this smug look on her face, saying like, "Oh, you're doing it wrong. I can't believe I have to do everything." And as the movie progresses, the only time Mary Poppins really seems to be happy is when people are saying how great she is at something, or when she finally gets to sing and dance, where Mary Poppins finally looks like she's enjoying herself. But the rest of the time, she has a very sour look on her face, and she's not a very kind of enjoyable person to be around. I mean, Mary Poppins is great because she solves everyone's problems, and she takes everyone on these adventures, but she's not actually that great a person to be around. She's always kind of seeming kind of negative to me. And I always felt Mary Poppins was supposed to be a very positive, warm kind of person. So I didn't really like the characterization of Mary Poppins that much in this. But I don't know, maybe Mary Poppins is supposed to be like that. But to me, it just seemed a little bit off. All right, now let's go on to Lin-Manuel Miranda, and he plays like this street lantern lighter in the film, and he's really hamming it up with this Cockney accent. He's always like, "Hello there, Mary Poppins." A little bit over the top sometimes with that accent. I thought he was pretty good when he was doing some of the singing in some of the songs. There was one song where they finally actually let him rap. For those of you who don't know, he's famous for that Hamilton play on Broadway where it's telling the story of this American president and there's rapping. So that's kind of his specialty, and he gets to do it in one song in this movie, and that one was called "A Cover Is Not the Book," and I really did dig that one part of the movie where he got to rap, but the rest of the time it's just that typical Mary Poppins Disney type of soundtrack. One other part I didn't love about his character in the film is that he felt kind of shoehorned into the plot. He's just kind of this lantern lighter guy. He's not a member of the family, yet somehow he's always tagging along with Mary Poppins and the kids on their adventures, even though he's not really connected with the family. But I guess that is sort of reminiscent of the initial Mary Poppins movie. The child actors playing the kids were fine. The father and the sister were fine. I'm pretty neutral on all of them. We also have Colin Firth as the bad guy who manages this bank in the movie, and he was a little bit too evil and too over the top for my liking. We also have Meryl Streep playing this character Topsy. She's just in one scene, but her song was kind of fun, but I mean, not the most essential part of the movie. We also have Dick Van Dyke making a cameo appearance, returning as a character from the original film so long ago. And I thought he was fun to see in the movie. Now, I'm not as nostalgic for the original Mary Poppins as some people. So for me, it was like, oh, cool. Dick Van Dyke's back. But some people in the crowd really, really dug it when he showed up. I mean, I think it was fun seeing him in this. On to my positives. And my main positive is that visually this movie looks fantastic. The animation is great. The set design is great. It's kind of a pretty fun world to live in. But on to some of my negatives. One is that the songs are pretty forgettable. I don't think myself or anyone was humming any of these after the movie ended. There's no supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. There's no with a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. Some catchy songs from the first movie. I feel like there was none of that in this one. Also, the overall plot is pretty ridiculous. I know it's a Mary Poppins movie and the story shouldn't really matter that much, but it is kind of a little bit lazy what the plot is in this. So the Banks family, they own this house and they've fallen behind 3 months on their mortgage. So the bank has told them that they need to pay back the entire mortgage by the end of the week or they're going to lose their home. Can you imagine this? You have a 20-year mortgage or something. You miss 3 months, and the bank doesn't say, you better pay us those 3 months. The bank says, you better pay us the full 20-year mortgage that you owe us, or we're taking your house. For some reason, I just couldn't get over it, that the bank was going to take their house over this. But apparently, the Banks family, they have shares in the bank that are going to be pretty valuable, and they would actually cover the cost of the house. But the problem is they need to find their share certificate that shows that they own shares in this bank. And if they don't find this magical MacGuffin piece of paper, then they're not going to be able to save their family home. And the entire movie is just the father looking for this piece of paper. And then for some reason, Mary Poppins shows up from the clouds and she's hanging out with the kids, taking them to magical worlds, sort of teaching them life lessons. And then she bounces at the end. And after she solves everything, sort of hints where the magical paper is and sort of gets them on their way. But really, there's not much story here, and I couldn't get over some of the ridiculous aspects of it. So in conclusion, I didn't love the story. I didn't love the music. I was mixed on some of the actors' performances. So I didn't really love this movie. Now, I totally get if some people do love this movie. I don't think I'm the right target demographic for this film. I don't love musicals. I didn't love the first one. I'm a 30-year-old male with no kids. So I wouldn't get that into this, right? But if you love the original and you do like musicals and you're very nostalgic for it and you want to take your kids to experience the magic of Mary Poppins, maybe you'll love this movie. But for me, I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10.